Hey everybody, Brian here, and I thought I'd share with you this quick video. Just kind of shows you the process I used to create my Art Drop Day piece this year. It's such a fun event, and I'm glad I participated in it this year. And it really brings art into our local communities, but it also shows you how art can reach people across the world. And if you go on Instagram, you can just search the hashtag Art Drop Day, and you can see the fun people's had with it all across the country and all across the world, really. So I hope you enjoy the video and let me know what you think. So a few weeks ago, I finally decided to put down the money and invest in an iPad Pro. I wanted to get a little bit more digital with my art, at least having the ability to draw digitally, and the most cost-effective way for me at this point was to get something like an iPad Pro that it wasn't too involved. I know I can't do like major Photoshop type of things with it, but it gives me what I need right now, and maybe in the future I can invest in something more. So what you're seeing me draw is the preliminary sketch, just a way for me to get my proportions correct and get it just the way I want to. And then I print it out on my printer, just on a cheap piece of paper, and then I tape it to the back of the piece of paper I want to complete the finished product on. It's a nicer piece of paper. It's kind of like a heavier. It's almost a cardstock, not that thick, but it's cheaper than Bristol, but it's still a copy paper. So then I just put it on my light box and just start inking over top of it. And I usually use a brush pen like this for most of my inking, and it just gives you a lot more line variety than like a technical pen or a ballpoint pen or something like that. And I don't get too heavy into the artistic like line weights and stuff like that, but it gives me enough flexibility. So it's really my go-to inking tool right now is a brush pen, and there's several different ones I use, but this one, it's a Zebra Fude brush pen, and it's what I use most often. So I'm just inking the skeleton here and going over it and kind of finishing it up as I work. So, but I really like working this way. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. Working digitally gives me the ability to get it done faster, but then the traditional aspect of it makes it more organic, and you can tell a human did it, so it gives a more personal touch to it. So now that I've finished the line work for it and I've got it the way I want it, now it's time for color. And with the skeleton, there's not a ton of color to it, so I'm glad I added things like the skateboard and the hat to give it a little bit of color. But right now I'm using a Blick marker from Blick art stores. And the color is called Antique White, and it gives like just this nice off-white feel to it. And so I'm just going in and really getting the more of the shadowy areas and leaving where the lights hit, and kind of leaving that just white. So I'll go over this probably quite a few times, just to get it the way I want it. And then you'll probably notice me pushing down really hard on the marker, and that's just because it's almost out of ink. I've used the heck out of it, so it's time for a new Antique White marker. But the Blick markers are really nice. They're just not refillable like the Copic markers are, but they still work great, and they're cheaper. So if there's like a color you won't use much, then the Blick markers are great. So now I'm going in with this light colored green Copic marker. I wanted to give the whole feel like a 90s day glow type of vibe to it. And so I picked this color green, and this is just the first layer to it, and that'll help give me my highlights on the hat. As I go in with this darker color green, I can just go over top, but leave some of the light parts showing, and then I'll kind of show you where the light would be hitting. And so now I'm just going to go in and color the rest of the skateboard the same kind of scheme of colors, like this 90s day glow type of scheme. Trying to just make everything like very bright 80s Trapper Keeper type of vibe, or like the beginning scenes of Saved by the Bell. That kind of vibe, just kind of a throwback type of thing, but with a little bit of a modern twist to it a little bit. So still using Copic markers, just more of the same kind of thing. And with Copic markers, just like watercolor, you want to work light to dark. It's hard to put light over top of dark, so you want to start with your lightest colors and keep going over them. And if you keep going over it with the same color, you can get it just a shade darker, or you can go to a whole nother marker and kind of blend it in and make it very much darker. So just going through and coloring little pieces here and there. And now that I've used my Copic markers to lay down a base, I'm going over it with color pencils. Gives it a little bit more texture, and you can add shadows a little bit easier and better. So I'm just going through with this is a Prismacolor Indigo Blue color pencil, and it's really good and useful for shadows, natural looking shadows. So I'm just going to go in and shadow all of this. And then I'll go in later, which I don't think I got on the video, but I go in with a white Prismacolor pencil, and that helps give me my highlights. And it goes right over top the Copic markers really pretty easily. And just like the Copic markers, I'll start really light and then darken it up as I go. Just keep going over it until I get it the way I want it. Hey everybody, it is World Art Drop Day. Here's my piece, and I'm going to leave it in this somewhat familiar spot that most people know. Can't work a camera, but if you want to come get it and claim it, it will be over this direction. Alright, that's all for the video. So if you guys have any comments or suggestions or thoughts or ideas, just leave them down in the comments section below. And if you'd like to see my future videos, then hit the subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.